Okay, here is a Daniel Quare original watch from 1690, serial number in the 600s, which means it is one of the first repeaters probably ever made. Daniel Quare is credited with having created the repeater. It's debatable. Some people say other people like Tompion also had a role in it. But here we have a typical design in general of watch for the period, being what's called pair cases, the outer case being leather covered, and in this particular instance with sound holes on the side of it integrated into the design, since it would have been a time when they were experimenting with the repeater idea and how to make sound travel best. Those would have been integrated into it. Then the watch itself is made of Tombeck alloy, which is a type of brass being any mixture of copper and zinc, essentially, this one having a different degree of zinc than most, which is what bells were made of, most bells at any rate, bronze or brass, so it was a natural choice to choose for one of the first sound-producing watches ever made. The dial on this particular watch is a replacement from approximately a century later. The sides, you can see, are filigreed so that they also will allow sound or air to travel through them when the hammer is striking the bell inside. The watch opens typical for the time period by releasing the hinge at the bottom and swinging out, hence the name swing out cases, swing out pair cases. And inside you can see the bell itself, which is struck by the hammer when the watch is closed, and you put pressure on the plunger up at the top, then it creates the spring tension that will cause the hammer to hit the bell on the side. This particular case, somewhat unusual for the time, also has a brass dust cover over the movement, which is a bit early for them in general, but it has it anyway. You remove the dust cover, and there you have a typical verge escapement type movement with, of course, the addition of the repeat train, a complex work mechanism in itself. So to give an example of the sound, we depress the pendant, so the hours are struck by the first tone of a single blow each for the number of hours, and then the quarter hours indicated by the double tones at the end. In terms of the actual mechanism, see if we can hear it ticking when I open it, but it's in very good condition. You can tell by a couple of turns after they start moving, then it's a watch that's in very good condition, and it winds to counterclockwise, as do most of the British watches. I cannot depress the pendant when the watch is open due to this particular original mechanism, which had the pendant move from the top like that, so you can't depress it and activate the repeat train when the watch is open. In later models, of course, they changed the design to where they were put on the side and slide mechanism or push mechanisms again. But so that is it, one of the first repeaters ever made by man.